Hi guys, and welcome back to JavaScript Playground. In the previous video, we explored number function and tried some examples to understand them better. So if you haven't watched the video, check it out. I'll add the link in the description below. In today's video, we will explore strings in JavaScript. So let's write some code. Let's head out to CodePen. Let's create a new pen. So today's video is about JavaScript strings. So JS strings. Alright, so in today's video we'll learn how to define strings in JavaScript. What are different ways to define them? Alright, so let's get started. Let's just expand the JS segment. Let's bring up the console because again we'll be printing lots of stuff in the console itself. So let's try an example. So where my first string I love JavaScript. So this is an example of a JavaScript string. So basically anything written inside double quotes or single quotes is a string in JavaScript. So let's check out the type of this variable. The type of my first string, which is printed, so console log, right? So as you can see, it's printed string. Let's try another example. So where my second string. So let's call it, we will learn JavaScript together. Okay, console is printing things over and over. So console.clear. Alright, so as I mentioned before, so anything that's written between double quotes or single quotes. So that means we can define our strings with a single quotes as well. So let's check out the type of this. So console log and type of a second string. And as you can see, the string is printed over there. So either we can define the string with double quotes or single quotes, but we cannot mix and match. So if I change this to single quotes and a double quote, we get an error. So as we can see at the bottom, there's a red exclamation mark which says that there's an error in our code. Let's just revert it back. Alright, so what if our string itself contains double quotes? So let's check out an example. What if my string contains a double quote, right? So where double quotes string. So this is a JavaScript string. Alright, say we had a double quotes around JavaScript. So now as you can see at the bottom we've got an exclamation mark that says that there's an error in our code. So JavaScript will treat this as in string and this as in string. So between two strings there needs to be an operator, and this is not an operator. So that's why we're getting an error. So one way to resolve this is using escape sequences. So to escape double quotes, we can do backslash double quotes, and same goes for here, backslash and double quotes. And our issue is gone. Let's try to print this. So console log and double quotes. As you can see, our string is printed here. So this is a JavaScript string, and our JavaScript is wrapped inside single quotes. Let's try the same with single quotes. So what if my string contains a single quote? So where single quotes string. This is a JavaScript string. Again, let's wrap JavaScript in single quotes. Now again, as you can see, we've got error in our code. So we can use the same escape sequence to escape a single quote. So what we can do is add a backslash to the single quote and add another backslash to the single. Alright, let's try to print it. The console log and single quotes string. Yeah, as you can see, our string is wrapped in double quotes and JavaScript is wrapped in single quotes. So if you've noticed, the JavaScript is wrapping our string in double quotes, and if there is any other double quote or single quote inside the string, it uses single quotes to represent that. So that is another solution to resolve this issue. So where double quotes string 2, right? So this is a JavaScript string. So instead of using a double quote, if we use a single quote here, we don't get any error. Same goes for single quotes string 2. This is a JavaScript string. And instead of using single quotes, if we use double quotes here, we don't get any error. So that's another way to add double quotes or single quotes in our string. So just to summarize, if we need single quotes in our string, we need to wrap it with double quotes. And if we need double quotes in our string, so we need to wrap our string with single quotes. Or we can use escape sequence as we saw here. Alright, so that's a wrap for today. I'll add the link for this code pen in the description below for your practice. Try using different strings, try adding invalid strings and see how the console gives you error, how to debug it, how to fix it. I hope this gives you a better understanding of JavaScript variables. But if you have any doubts or queries, feel free to drop a comment below or reach out to me on Twitter. I'll add my Twitter handle in the description below. Bye and take care.